we did an operation for you and we spent an hour and a half, 2 hours in the operating theatre, but the most important thing that determines that good outcome is what happens afterwards, and that 6 to 8 weeks with Rachel and doing functional therapy is that's where the gold is. Let's go for a bit of a walk.
Yeah.
So this is Robin walking today in November 2019. And Robin, when I first met you, how were you walking?
I wasn't walking really without a walker or a walking stick.
You had a walking stick or a wheelie walker,
Yeah.
or a little walker frame.
Yeah.
And you've had surgery on your back in the early 90s, another operation in the early 2000s. And even with your walking frame, you were suffering from back pain and difficulty walking.
Yeah.
And now you're doing circuits.
Yes.
Now you're doing circuits. Come and have a sit down. So now you're doing circuits with your functional movement training, which pretty much means you're becoming a domestic athlete.
Yes.
So you went from being disabled and in pain
To no pain.
yeah, and doing athletic activities, and I can't slow you down.
No. I can be a bit fast, and I love hinges.
Yeah. So, what is that? How does that make you feel? What does that do for your life?
Well, it's really changed my life in
Yeah.
terms of being able to walk better, and
Yeah.
no pain is the biggest advantage. If I
Incredible.
can have anything else to be out of pain is
Incredible.
heaven.
Yeah. When you started functional movement training, what was that like? Was that totally new? Had anyone ever talked to you about functional movement training before?
No,
It was
haven't heard about
totally
it
new.
before.
Yeah. You probably would have done a lot of other types of rehab with your pain and disability. Did you try lots of rehab in the past?
I'd had
Different
lots
types
of
of things?
physio,
Yeah, yeah.
but nothing really worked
And,
until I came to see you.
How was the functional movement training different to the other types of rehabilitation that you had tried?
I think it was more focused on doing the right thing with your body.
Yeah.
And massaging.
Moving
doing,
well.
Yeah, doing the right thing
Yeah.
with your body.
And no massaging. No one massages
no,
you.
No,
There's no couches.
no.
There's no
That's
couches.
right.
You don't lie down when you do functional
No.
movement training. There's no stretching
And
really.
you don't sit at any time.
Yes, and the coach is teaching you skills
Yes.
of how to move correctly,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden everything just clicks, falls into place, and you start to break down those things that have been roadblocks for about 20 odd years. Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. It just makes me a little bit sad that you didn't get functional movement training way back in the 90s,
Yes, that's
in
right.
the early
It was,
2000s when you had your surgery.
That's right.
Because I always say to my patients now that the most important thing that determines a good outcome is not what happens in the operating theatre. Like, we did an operation for you and we spent an hour and a half, 2 hours in the operating theatre, but the most important thing that determines that good outcome is what happens afterwards, and
Absolutely.
that 6 to 8 weeks with Rachel and doing functional therapy is that's where the gold is. That's
Very
where the
good.
outcome.
I can't believe I'm doing circuits now.
Yeah.
Like hinges, 50 hinges and 50
Yeah.
of this and 50
Yeah.
of that, 50 push-ups and 50 wall push-ups. And
Yeah, but the thing is that you're doing it biomechanically correctly. Because if I just said, okay, pop out to your local 24-hour fitness studio and do that, that wouldn't work, because you do them all incorrectly without A+ movement, and that would end up with you in more pain than you started with, right?
That's right.
Because Rachel, how many times does she correct you in a class? Like, just continuously correcting.
She is, yes, she pulls you up straight away if you're doing something wrong.
Yes.
And
that's-
yeah,
And it's hard work.
it is hard work.
It's hard work for you, and it's hard work for the functional movement therapists. as
Hard
well.
work on my arms too, and my shoulders.
And when you put hard work into something, what do you get out?
Well, that's it. walking better than I've ever walked for years.
You get great results, right? Okay.
It's great. I've got more energy. I've lost 4 kilos in weight since the operation. I was 88.1 when I went into surgery, and now I'm 84.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's super exciting, and it's made my day today. So
you would be very pleased.
I'm ecstatic to see you smiling.
I know.
And Robin, are you happy to share this with our Functional Movement Training Centre community?
Absolutely, yes.
All the people that that follow our Facebook page, and we'll be able to learn from your experience.
Oh, they're wonderful out at Brighton.
Is sleeping better.
Sleeping better as well.
Because you were always waking up every time you turned over. Ouch.
Well, the
Now
pain
I'm
levels are
sleeping.
lower, and so
no pain.
you're not as sensitive or irritable, and so therefore you
From the
don't have
moment
those type
after
of-
the surgery, I've had no pain at all.
Wow.
I was amazed, really.
Very happy, super happy to hear that. Thank you, Robin. Thanks for sharing your story. That's a really wonderful story to hear.